Afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? Afternoon, Steve, Lucas, Mumo, Gregors, Michael. Sailing at sea at the moment. Watching via Starlink. Good luck. Hopefully, Elon Musk doesn't blow it up. Not very good with docking space shuttle type things, is he, at the moment? But anyway. Afternoon, Virginia. Sean. Jean-Roger. Noob on a grind. Good name. Right, so this afternoon we've had some news. We've had some news this morning as well. Where are we today? The Aussie unemployment rate came out this morning at 4.2. Forecast was 4.1. Not a massive amount of movement off of that. A little bit of movement on the Aussie dollar, mainly whipsaw. So all we really got was a big whipsaw off the back of the news. A little bit of bullish movement, but as you can see, not really doing an awful lot. That one didn't quite get... we hit ADR on it, but didn't really do a lot. So a little bit of movement, but nothing dramatic on that one. The GDP came out as forecast for the pound, so again, no movement on the pound. We've had retail sales and unemployment claims for the US dollar just come out. They're massively bullish. So really big numbers there. We were forecasting from going negative to a 0.4. We actually got a 1. So that's quite a big increase, 0.6% increase on the forecast. And the core was 0.4 on a 0.1. So they were forecasting that basically to drop, and it pretty much stayed the same. So as you can see, markets had a big bullish reaction to that. But because that GDP figure retail figure has gone up, it will indicate GDP potentially increasing. And as the unemployment claims have come down, it's likely it will give more weight to the Fed dropping that interest rate. So although it's a bullish reaction initially for the US, overall it adds into the argument for more bear movement. So we'll see what happens with that, but there's a good chance that these will just retrace these moves. So I had 3 trades on today. I had a Euro CAD short there, which I took off, which was from the RSI extension yesterday. I had Euro US short, which I took off. Again, that was an RSI extension from yesterday. So I've taken that one off. The only reason I took that one off was because I've got the pound US short still, as you can see with the P&L. So I'm already in that one that's a reversal from that bullish move. So added short. I'm holding that one with a break even on it. I've decided to move it to break even. I'm just being super cautious at the moment because these markets are quiet. So if that US does drop, obviously we're just going to get a V-shaped recovery on this move, even though it's bullish. I think there's a good chance. And you see it's tapped straight into that bull move there, and they bought it back up again. So we'll see. But I got break even on it. We'll see what happens on that one. So that's your news today. There's no more news today. That's it. All done. Tomorrow we've got Bullock speaking. We had the New Zealand dollar announcement. Sorry, that's Orr. We got Bullock speaking tomorrow morning, and we got Orr speaking. Orr obviously has spoken 4 times this week. So there we had 3 there, and obviously the press conference. So there's nothing coming out of Orr that's going to make any difference tomorrow morning. But we have got Bullock speaking. See what happens with the Aussie, whether they're bullish or bearish with that one. We've got retail sales for the pound in the morning. Apart from that, that's the end of the month. So University of Michigan sentiment is also coming out tomorrow. That can move the market quite a bit. So we'll see what happens on that one. Overnight news, not a lot else. Still Middle East tensions. But just going back before the GDP figures this morning for the UK, there's nothing really overnight. Much, a bit Chinese in there. The unemployment, obviously, for the Aussie. But apart from that, nothing much else overnight. I am growing more concerned about unemployment from Goolsby, the Fed. So again, they're worried about unemployment going up. Therefore, they will want to drop that rate as fast as possible. So, all still pointing toward that bearish US dollar. But we will see what happens with it. Indices are opening in 8 minutes. FTSE and DAX this morning. I got into a DAX trade this morning. It basically sat there for 20 minutes on an inside bar. It's behind my head. Can't even see what I'm talking about. Sat there for 20 minutes. There's your opening range there. Sat there and did nothing, basically. Then we got a tiny little break to the upside. So I thought, well, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, see if we can get a break up to maybe 1R and take it. And then it came screaming straight back down into the lows and hedged. So I got out of the hedge short and put a a stop on the long there. So it would have played out if I'd have let it run, but there's so little volume this morning. It was awful. Same really with the FTSE. Just about to see that there. The FTSE opening range was there basically. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 1 hour. Then it decided to break the lows. And then it sat there for about 25, 30 minutes. Came back up inside the range. Sat there all the way to the news. Pop. So utter rubbish this morning. Indices, they just didn't do anything. So going to have a look at the NASDAQ and S&P. We haven't got ADR hits on any of these yet. So if I just move these charts down a bit. So obviously we've had the news there with all the retail and unemployment. Hasn't really gone anywhere. So you've got ADR absolutely miles away from price. We've got loads of room to ADR. So I think there's still a chance of getting a decent break. But market might be a little exhausted. We'll wait and see. You can see it's just dead. Again, oh, sorry, I've been doing data analysis all morning. It tires me when I'm living in spreadsheets. But anyway, there we go. So ADRs today, you've got 4 ADRs, Aussie dollar CAD. So the Aussie dollars, obviously, most of the ADR movement is caused by the whipsaw. So you can see there, that's pretty much an ADR. 76 on this, so that is an ADR, I think. Yeah, 72. So that hourly whipsaw candle on the news this morning basically did an ADR. So it would have been a short entry, but not really easy to trade at all. Same with the Aussie US. Euro odd. Again, Australian dollar there, 114 pips is 182 ADR. So you've just had the ADR hit on that one there. So that one's literally just hit in the last hour. I don't think you've had a reversal alert on it yet. No, it's too far. That big strong move down there. If you want to take a long on this one off of an ADR reversal, rather than taking the reversal alert, probably better just to take a break of that high and assume that they're going to get through that propulsion move. And US dollar Swiss, that's just hit off the news. So there's an ADR reversal there. Just literally just got the reversal alert. So we are either going to A-shape recovery this, or it's going to flag and run. I don't know. It's quite a big reaction. It's quite a big news event, but obviously everything at the moment is pointing bearish on the US. So yes, it's all good news, but it all feeds into dropping the interest rates more as well. So I'm not sure this is going to hold this move. I think we'll probably find ourselves back down there potentially by end of day, but we'll wait and see. One of the reasons I've put the stop on the pound US, because I get the feeling we might just retrace this whole movement and continue that way, obviously with a bearish US, but we'll wait and see. It may not happen. We'll have to just play it by ear. So you've got a few RSIs. What's the time? 3 minutes. Few RSIs. So this is, I'm monitoring RSI 10 on the 4 hour at the moment. RSI 10 and 14. There's not a massive amount in it. Just gets signals a little bit quicker. So I'm interested in 80-20 RSI 10 extensions. Euro Swiss is extended. I'm not trading Euro Swiss at the moment. Not trading any Swiss franc pairs, but that is just about extended. That's an hourly chart. Pen. Go away, pen. 4 hour. Oh my God, wrong chart. It's going well today, isn't it? So yeah, big extension there. Up there, looking for new leg down. So this is either going to continue to grind up into that propulsion and hit that support, or that resistance, which is last week's high. So it's either going to come off of that level or that level if it continues to rally. Otherwise, it's going to come down and test and then go back up there at a later stage. So we're either going to retrace from where we are now, i.e. pull back on that leg, or we're going to continue this leg up and we're going to find some resistance up at the highs down there, up there somewhere. So you can short it now. You've got a reversal alert probably going in probably right now. When my 5-minute chart loads. Yeah, so just about to get a reversal alert there in a second. So you could use that as your first entry, and obviously if that doesn't pan out, look to add. You'll be looking somewhere around about there for an add for a second entry, and then it'll be really extended and it'll want to do that little pullback. Other than that, everything else is just starting to get extended, so there's no other big extensions at the moment. There's a few hourlies, but they're not really very big at all. So right, market's going to open in 1 minute. Let's flick over and have a look at those. Afternoon, everybody else. Fletch, Church, Dev, Monkey, AC, Thought Feeder. Have you ever traded copper? No. Giving it a go seems very hard to do so far. Don't know. I don't get on with metals. I've only ever traded gold. Yeah, I don't. They're a little too erratic for me. In the fact that they will just take off for no reason whatsoever and just go. They're also safe haven linked as well. I don't know about copper. Gold and silver and platinum are though. So you tend to get runs into them when you get the Swiss and the yen. But if you want to play a safe haven type run, then use the Swiss or the yen rather than a metal. Long on the Dow. So market's open. So there's no pre-market trades today on the S&P or the NASDAQ because the ranges are too tight. Absolutely tiny. 36 pip pre-market and less than 10 pip pre-market on the S&P. So just no volume there. Dow just about got a trade on that one pre-market, and it's the 5-minute pre-market candle. So broken long on that. See where we go. Let's have a look at the Dow upside. So yeah, we're buying straight into a propulsion move, which is never good, but just gonna move. What's that? Three-week high. It's that level there, this black line, which is not really significant at all because we've got, I suppose it is fairly significant. We couldn't get through it, could we? Then we did. Then we used it as support twice and then slammed through it. So it might be significant. T1's pretty much ADR today. So I'm just going to move my target just down below ADR, which also brings me down below this low before the propulsion move. So yeah, see if we can get a break on it, but it's not looking particularly exciting today, is it? Afternoon, Baggy, Neo, Abdi. See where we go. So plan today, I'm not going to really look at any FX pairs in detail today. I went through most of it yesterday. Well, I didn't actually go through a lot of it yesterday. Aussie New Zealand's just hit ADR because we were waiting for the news. So you got an ADR hit to the upside there on Aussie New Zealand. Again, This is one that I'm not trading at the moment, Aussie New Zealand, because it's a bit of a trender when it wants to be, and now the fundamentals have shifted because we've got that drop in the interest rates on the Australian dollar. On the New Zealand dollar. Bias is long now on this, so not really. If you're going to take an ADR reversal on this today, you're going against the fundamentals from the Australian this morning, and you're going against the overall long-term fundamentals now. It's bull, so bit of a tricky short, that one. But if there's any pairs you want to look at specifically, let me know. I might have a quick whiz through all of them that's today, just have a quick look through and see if there's any good support resistance, because I've got no exposure on at the moment. I've got that pound US dollar on, but I've banked and closed everything. So I am looking for opportunities to get into. So I will whiz through all the pairs quickly this morning. Let's just see what these indices do in the first 5 minutes. A bit of volume coming in now. Okay, 1 minute till candle close. Afternoon, Mark. Pound Swiss. Swiss franc is a complete mystery at the moment, because obviously we've had this big strong run with the Swissy, which is now undoing itself. So it's difficult to call where this pullback is going to end. The pound should be bearish. Swiss is very difficult to bias at the moment, because obviously they're dropping interest rates very quick and unexpectedly. But the Swiss obviously have said that they're going to manipulate price. So it doesn't matter really what your bias is on the Swiss franc at the moment. They'll do what the hell they want with it. And if we obviously get any Middle East tensions, that Swiss franc is going to power up dramatically, which is going to bring this down. So pound bearish, Middle East tensions, probably going to drop the interest rates on the Swiss again. Don't know. Difficult, isn't it? I'd be more bearish than bullish on it, certainly at the moment. Obviously, as you can see, market structure is definitely bearish. So we're looking for a pullback somewhere into there to short it again, but quite where. You've got a monthly low. This is last month's low there, which is 125 ADR today. Previous month's low is pretty much where we are. So this zone here, this propulsion gap, where they slammed through, was last month's low and previous month's low getting wiped out literally in 2 hours, and then retested and dropped. So we know that they are selling hard there, or they were selling hard there. So this looks like a good place for shorts. We're extended on the RSI on the hourly. So you'd be looking for some kind of drop move. Four-hour RSI 80 as well. Yeah, looks good. Looks good for shorts at the moment. So you could drop down onto a lower time frame. You're not going to get a decent reversal on this. On the 15-minute. 5 is quite tight. So yeah, good looking short now, really. Quite like the look of that. What I don't like is the fact that it's been grinding for 4 days. I'd much rather see it a bit more stretched. RSI is extended, but it's taken, it's not gone from there to there. It's just kind of eased itself up today, hasn't it, on this last couple of hours. So looks good for a short. Specifically as you're approaching 2 monthly highs. And if we do get there today, you're going to get to 2 monthly highs where limit orders will be sitting, or 2 monthly lows rather, where they will be looking to sell the breakouts from the monthly lows. And you'll also be extended at ADR, which is obviously stretched for the day. So they're going to be running out of steam today, hitting a load of limit orders, which could well react quite quickly. Opening ranges on the S&P and the NASDAQ, non-existent. Less than 10%, almost 5% of the average daily range done at the open. So just dead. You quite often get this after a news event where you've had a big spike on the news. Market's exhausted. So I was hoping we'd get a little bit more out of it than this, but no trades today on those two. No volume. So Dow is my only hope today. And if I do get the break long on that, it's just going to pay for the small loss that I had on the DAX this morning. So summer trading. Love it. Is there a bit of bug in the SIH system? Not that I'm aware of. After a period of big daily moves, ADR will be exaggerated for a period following, and the EA won't take you into trades until ADR catches up. It's not a bug, it's just ADR, isn't it? Usually when you get high volatility, you get sustained high volatility. So it adjusts accordingly. There's no right or wrong way to measure anything. I use ADR. Some people use pips. Trouble with pips is if you don't change pips on a regular basis, how are you going to measure what the average true range of the instrument is? You can't just pick a number and go and use that forever because it will change constantly, won't it? So you've got to use something dynamic. You could use a smaller, if you wanted to, you could use a smaller ADR number. So in the settings, have we got ADR setting in here? I don't think we have we? No, can't change it. But I mean, we could put an input in there for if you want to use ADR 5. But yeah. So NAS break looks good now, but EA won't take it. Why does it look good? Looks like that could hedge very easily because the range is too small. You can change. You can adjust it however you want. If you change it, so instead of using a minimum range, so if you're saying I wanted to take that today, just drop that down to 0.1, 0.01. Yeah, and then it will take everything. It will take every break for you. So it will take a pre-market range, or it will just take a break of the opening range for you. Yeah, if you change that to 0.1, 0.01. Yeah, so it basically won't care what the size of the candle is. The problem is, because it's a tiny candle, one little order, and you're hedged. The reason I have that set like that is because I want to use 10% of average daily range. But again, there's no right or wrong. I have no clue whatsoever what to use. No one does. No one on this planet right now can tell you what is the best range to take today, whether you should go long, short, hedge, or not hedge. No one knows that because they can't see the future. So you set it up as you want. There is no right or wrong. In my back testing, it's shown that 10% of average daily range is the best thing to use. Which average daily range, whether you use the 5, the 3, the 10, the 20, whatever, don't know. Sometimes it's best to use ADR 10. Sometimes it's best to use ADR 5. But you won't know that until tomorrow, until it's played out. And then you would have gone, if I'd used ADR 5, it'd have been brilliant. But I used ADR 10. You're trying to predict the future. Not possible. Pulling back inside the range. You see, you said that's a good breakout now. What if this now does that? I'm right. You're wrong. If, however, it does a double bottom there and flies to the upside, you're right. But then you just set your E up to take the trade. Or press a button manually. Use Position Trader. EA or opening range breakout EA or price action toolkit and just press the button. You don't have to use the rules set in this. There are no rules that work on a regular basis. And yet there are rules that always work on a regular basis. How's RSI2 doing? Pretty well, done 20 something percent this month. I will open the terminal. Ooh, banked 5% today. Yeah, up 29% on the month. Pound CAD, still stuck in pound CAD. I've got this open here, look, pound CAD, because it's been stuck in it since it took the first trade there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days been in this. Flip-flopping about. But yeah, it's done great. I mean, I can shut this whole thing out now at 3.86 and just bank 1% today. In fact, I might do this with a pound CAD. There we go. So I got rid of that pound CAD. Just use the profit from today to get rid of it because it's stuck. It's 5. I think this is bearish. Personally, the pound, the Canadian dollar may well go bull for a little bit longer, but it may not. So this it's not. It doesn't know at the moment what it wants to do, the pound CAD. So what I'm worried about is that, but that would mean the pound's got to be bullish, and there's a chance that might happen as well. The interest rate futures are now showing potentially 0.25% drop to a 0.5% drop, but not in September, in October. So if that, we're waiting for Bailey to confirm really, but if they come out and do a pause as the euro did, we might see some bullish pound for a month or two. And obviously the Fed changes its mind every 5 minutes. So, but yeah, it's doing well. Yeah, good. But it had a bad month last month, so it's swings and roundabouts. This is what it's all about. It's about long-term testing. I'm giving it 3-6 months to run live and see what it does. But I'm going to intervene every now and again. I'm going to see something which I think will just, I've got an opportunity to get rid of something that could potentially turn into weeks of pain. So I'm going to do it. But I'm trying to leave it as completely unattended. Everything here is unattended apart from that trade I just did there. But that's the first one that's got stuck because it's just in rotation at the moment. But yeah, it's good. It's doing what it did in backtesting, which is what I would expect it to do. Afternoon, Champagne. What's the setting and risk on your RSI2? I just shut it down. It's whatever I published. I haven't changed anything. Right. I'm just waiting for this to see if I get a bounce out of this propulsion gap or whether it hedges. Not really going anywhere today, are we? Same story as this morning. Looks like the Dow wants to break short. See what the US dollar's up to. So US dollar's weakening a little bit. Not much though. Slight weakness coming in. We just had a reversal alert there. Same on the pound. So a little bit of weakness in the US. Not going anywhere though, is it? So I'll come back to that in a minute. Right, I'm going to have a whiz through all the pairs. Just see if there's any manual trades I can take because I want to get some exposure on. And at the moment, stuff is kind of stuck. So don't really want to take any US until we figure out what's happened with this. So let's have a look at the Aussies. So Aussie dollar CAD, just sideways, isn't it, at the moment? So we're either going to come back down here or we're going to head up there. Bias on it is difficult at the moment. It should really be bullish because of the Aussie dollar. I don't really want to get in here. Just not really doing anything, is it? We've had a reversal alert long on the 4 hour and immediately followed by a reversal alert short. It's just dead, isn't it? So nothing really interesting there. Aussie Swiss. So this one we just talked about. This is particularly interesting because we've got a nice monthly low coming up and a weekly high there. Actually, it's not this one. It was another Swiss we looked at, wasn't it? But we're retracing this leg or this leg, whichever way you want to look at it. So with this one, we've done over 70% retracement. With this one, we're coming up to 50% retracement. Sorry, my Bluetooth headset just said, do I want to pair to it? So good looking potential short opportunities. The Aussie is long though. So you're better off taking a short on something against the Swiss at the moment that's got bearish potential. So at the moment, the Aussie's bullish. Swiss can go either way. So the best thing to trade against the Swiss at the moment is probably going to be either the CAD, the Euro, or the Pound. So Euro, Swiss, good market structure. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So textbook 50% retracements going on this at the moment. If that's going to continue, that's where we're going to go from. The Pound Swiss, very similar. So we've got highs and lows showing bearish market structure. This one's really good looking level for shorts. I've got pound US exposure on at the moment, but I have got a break even on that. So do I want to trade the Swiss franc? That's the question. If we get any tensions in the Middle East blowing up, this is coming down. So does look pretty good for shorts at the moment. There's a good chance we're probably going to test this area at least. So this is really where I'd like to see it. It'd be much nicer to get in there rather than to get in here and have a second on by the time we get there. So I might give this a little bit of room today. If we get a pound Swiss extension up into here, if we get an ADR hit, I'll be interested in shorting that today. CAD Swiss looked at, Euro Swiss, good. US Swiss, less likely to take. New Zealand Swiss is now bearish as well. So obviously we've just had the interest rate drop unexpectedly on the New Zealand dollar, as you can see. So we're just putting back into that propulsion move at the moment. So likelihood is we're going to get the reversal alert holding here. So you had the reversal alert there on the 4 hour. So we're looking at this being in the second leg of the M pattern for the reversal, and it's a propulsion move. So obviously market moves down fast, makes the reversal, pulls back into the propulsion move. They add shorts. That's where you get your M pattern reversals come from. So this is a spot on area to start looking for short opportunities. Drop down M5, you've just had a reversal alert. So it may well invalidate that one. But that's a good looking short as well. Not really extended though. So pound Swiss or Euro Swiss, tricky. tricky one to know. Euro Swiss has got to be the main contender, isn't it? We're extended on the 4-hour RSI above the 80 level as well. It's a perfect 50% retracement. We've got two fairly decent support resistance areas coming up and a monthly high. So the plan for the trade would be to short it out of there. Second entry, third entry. By the time it's all the way up there on that V-shaped recovery, it's going to pull back and you're going to be extended and embedded on the RSI like that. So that looks good for short. Pound Swiss has got nicer levels. Take your pick. Euro Swiss or Pound Swiss, good looking shorts, both of them. Yens, not really interested in the yen at the moment. Still, I just don't know what's going on with it. We've seen this before. This intervention move. Euro yen just hit its weekly range. We've seen these intervention moves before, not to this extent though. And this is the biggest intervention we've ever seen on the yen. So we've had them before. We had the old US dollar yen. Obviously, that was the last intervention move from the 150 area. That was the precursor when they started warning about intervention. This is obviously massive. We're coming back down into these lows and bouncing. So look what's happened every time we've had some kind of intervention in the past. New highs. Yeah. Yes, this is way bigger. Yes, the US dollar is going into an interest rate drop. So chances are we're more likely to see, I think, sort of movement like that moving forward. So I just don't really want to get into it at the moment. So all these yen pairs, you know, you're either biased long on it and you think it's going to continue to pull back, or you're trying to get into shorts because you think it's going to flag and drop. No idea. So I'm just steering clear of all of these at the moment. If we saw something getting really nicely extended at a decent level of resistance with a nice propulsion move, but you see the whole thing is a propulsion move at the moment. It's propulsion followed by propulsion. There's no way you can pick on the way up there and say, oh, that's probably where it's going to get some traction to put shorts on. It just doesn't look like it's got anywhere to go at the moment. It's just the whole thing's a mess. So I'm not interested in any of the yens. Feel the propulsion gap on the Dow. Nasdaq's broken long. S&P, there's a door now. Aussie New Zealand, again, the bias on this one now is kind of long, so I'd want to get in on some kind of pullback. So I'll look for a pullback on the RSI, look for an ADR hit to the downside. On lower time frames, be looking for pullbacks into propulsion, maybe, but I don't want to take a short up there at the moment. Aussie US, again, bias on this one's got to be long. US dollar looking like it's going to start to weaken. Aussies not changing their interest rates. So again, same thing, want to look for that type of movement. We've just had a reversal alert on that one on the hourly today, but that's caused by the news. And they're adding back in again by the looks of things. So break of that high would be good. Just don't like the price action on it. It's just very choppy. Euro odd. Sideways for 5 days. Bearish stance on this one. Kind of missed it. The ADR today was the entry. So 5-minute reversal was almost impossible to get into. It's the same candle, look. So couldn't really get into that today, but that was your short entry today on the pullback. Just happened too fast. Euro CAD just got out of. Euro Swiss looks good. Euro pound. So this one's a tricky one as well, because obviously euro and pound tend to move together. This massive, unbelievable move on euro pound was just ridiculous. Look how long it took to get down here, and it undid the whole lot literally within 24 hours. So price action on this one is totally screwed. No idea where this is going. This extension we got up here is the highest extension we've ever had. We were up at 90, over 95 on the RSI. Just doesn't get there. It's just an anomaly. Just doesn't happen. So how you read that, don't know. But could flag and break depending on who goes first. So either the euro or the pound are going to drop their rates first. Whoever does is going to be the bearish party. So we don't know at the moment with either of these when it's going to be. It's more likely that the euro are going to drop first. It's more likely, I think, that the pound are going to pause interest rates in September. So therefore, it's a good looking short. So we've had the reversal alert after that massive push. Pull back. There's your M pattern starting to form. Easily come and retest that level, but that is going to take a week or so to get to. It took 24 hours to get there. It's going to take a lot longer to do the same sort of movement back down again. So news-wise, we've got nothing coming up. We've got pound retail tomorrow. So we might get negative pound retail tomorrow. We're going from a minus 1.2 to a plus 0.6. There's a lot of deviation in there. So that could go anywhere tomorrow. But yeah, it looks good for shorts. Nice M pattern reversal there. You got kind of an M pattern structure there. Got an M pattern structure there. So there's your low, high, low, lower, high. So your reversal alert and your retest of the reversal alert. Good short all the way down to there. Kind of missed it though. Missed 3 hours worth of price action. So a bit late to the game on that one. Euro New Zealand. Again, we looked at playing this one last week or the week before, and then we got that stupid 300 ADR move for no reason, which was obviously a false breakout. So that's a really good short. I'm taking that. I like that. Yeah. So getting in Euro New Zealand short. I've got the right risk parameters on. Yeah. So yeah, Euro New Zealand short. Yeah, like the look of this, basically. So the obviously this is the double top. So that is that previous yearly high from last year. We came straight up into it, hit it, had another go, hit it again, had another go, failed. So it broke back down. They came up, and that would have been the new right hand leg coming off that yearly high. Then we got that out of nowhere 300 ADR move across all FX pairs in one day. You know, this is why we've got the dashboard so screwed at the moment. We did 175% of our monthly ranges within 2 hours. No reason for it. It's just something went wrong. Somebody pressed a button somewhere and went, whoops, sorry, didn't mean it. So yeah, false breakout above that high, retested it. Now we've come down and formed the bottom of that range. So worst case scenario, we're going to retest this propulsion gap, and then they may well try to push up, but more likely long-term stance on this one is going to be coming off of that yearly high. And if we break back down below that level, which we're at now, we'll be coming back down to test down here. So New Zealand dollar is now bearish. Euro is also bearish. New Zealand was unexpected, and I think the market will probably assume that they're going to freeze rates next time. The euro are going to drop rates next time in all likelihood, so it should be a bearish move, even though they're both bears. So quite like the look of that one. So Euro New Zealand short. That was also an RSI extension as well. So remind me why I got into that one. Euro US. That's just hit propulsion as well. So we're looking for it to push back down into there. But again, we don't know what's happening with this US dollar at the moment. So I'm not convinced this is going to hold. So if we get back up into there, pushed back down into that 4 hour propulsion gap would be good. So there's your reversal alert. Just gone in, 2 lovely wicks at the high there, breaking out of last week's high. So push down, push up. That'd be your right shoulder on your M pattern. Coming back down into there would be good. RSI was extended. Pounds, very difficult to call at the moment, the pounds. Again, this is a very good looking short from a fundamental perspective, but no traction at the moment. What worries me about this one is the monthly high is holding. So they're buying this level back up again. So this is last month. There's your breakout from last month, and they're adding more into their longs. Although the fundamentals are bearish. So I suspect we might get stuck a little bit on this one. We'll have to wait and see what Bailey says, because he hasn't given any confirmation as to positive or negative interest rates yet. So for September. So we'll have to wait and see what he says. But as you can see, we are holding that level at the moment, and we are just completely sideways for the last week. So nothing exciting there. Pound CAD, we just come up into previous week's high, which was a double bottom, previous level there. So market structure high, low, lower high, coming down into there. Pound is bearish, CAD is bearish as well. Could well get more bearish. That's the danger with this one, because obviously the US dollar is looking to drop interest rates, and the CAD will usually go with it, which could give this one a bullish stance for a little bit. But again, we're waiting on Bailey. But from a technical perspective, you're looking short. There's your reversal alert on the hourly. As you can see, it hasn't gone anywhere for 3 days. So obviously we're sitting there waiting for that break of structure to the low, to the downside. 4 hour, just had an RSI extension on that this week. But it's sideways, a bit too sideways at the moment. But 4 hour market structure is bullish. However, reversal alert and retest there would say bearish. Could go either way, this one. But pound likely to be more bearish than bullish. So pound Swiss, as we know, it's coming up into this area here. I'm going to be watching this for shorts. I'm not going to take it yet. I'm being disciplined. Pound New Zealand, not a lot. Not going anywhere, is it, at the moment? Just accumulation, bit of news, accumulation, just nothing. But you've got a propulsion gap there, which they've already retested and added to once. If we get back to that area, that's ADR. Today, or if it decides to go sideways and hits that ADR tomorrow, you're likely going to find some limit orders triggering there. So if the market is going bear, it's going to hold it at that level, and it's going to come and test that propulsion gap down there. Bear in mind, New Zealand's just gone bear, as you can see. So could well just bounce out of that and pop. We'll have to wait and see what the market makes of this New Zealand, because the New Zealanders didn't tell us they were dropping interest rates yesterday. And that was obviously the market reaction to it. So far, the market hasn't really done much. But when you get an unexpected interest rate drop, usually there's a multi-day, week continuation on that move, because the market's offside on it. So the trouble is, you're trying to go long on this one, specifically on something that is not particularly bullish at the moment. So bear with me one sec. Terminal freeze. There we go. So hedged on the Dow. Downside target. I mean, that low is a decent level, that propulsion gap, but I think there's a good chance that we'll maybe just undo this move. And maybe we'll get a bounce out of that. They are reselling that level, which, as I said this morning, when that happened, we're buying into a propulsion move by the bears. So I'm not surprised they've added to it. So I would assume that we will probably come down fairly decent today. But as I've just got the one trade on, I'm going to let it go. If it gets down to ADR, I'll try and get out of it there. Upside, very difficult. I'll probably go ADR again to the upside. I don't think it will break long, though. So this high, which is there, and then retested. So it's this propulsion move basically. So if it does pull back and bounce out of that area there, it's unlikely to get up there today, to be honest, isn't it? But if it was to get up there, then I'd try and short it out of that. But dead today. Market's just not moving enough at the moment. This week's been really difficult. It's profitable, but not very. As you can see, we're getting movement, but one or two are from the ranges are pretty much it. We're not getting a huge amount at the moment. So pound New Zealand, pound US dollar, got short on that one already. So waiting to see whether or not they do a V-shaped recovery on this news. If they do, no idea. But this trade is that short there. So it is bearish. But you've got a problem is you've got a bear against a bear, but that's not confirmed yet. The Fed still haven't said for sure. Interest rates are coming down. When they're coming down, how long they're going to do it. Yeah, everything's still woolly with the Fed. Everybody's expecting a 1.25% drop by the end of the year. We were expecting the pound to drop interest rates when they hit target, like they said. They didn't do that either. Yeah, we were expecting the New Zealanders to hold their interest rates because inflation's too high. They decided to drop it. Yeah, you can't believe anything anybody says in any central bank at the moment. They are just scrabbling around going, what the hell do we do next? So at the moment, it's a short against a not quite so short, but it could be a very small short against a much bigger short until we hear the next talking head come out, and whether they do what they say they're going to do, difficult. So at the moment, it's ever so slightly bullish, but could well be turning into a bear reversal from there. So just don't know with this one at the minute. I'm short on the RSI extension, so I'm just playing the fact that they're going to undo part of that move, which they've done already. I've got no risk trade on it. If they do push down into propulsion, which is where I'm expecting them to get down to, great. If they don't, doesn't cost anything. New Zealand CAD, sideways at the moment. Again, we've been sideways on this one, little pop out the top there. But that move has been caused by the New Zealand dollar dropping interest rates. In theory, that would be the best play. So a push back up into RSI or an ADR hit to the upside to go short. Propulsion gap at the moment seems to be holding. So I'd be more interested in shorts than longs on this one. That propulsion gap off of the news, though, quite often will hold. So when you see these, there's one there. Look. So when you see... That's the 10th of July. So that's the last interest rate change on the New Zealand, or rather, no interest rate change on the New Zealand dollar. That was when they sustained interest rates. Those propulsion gaps off of interest rates, as that one, they do tend to hold. So they get retested, or market just pushes away, flags, and then never comes back to them again. Or it does eventually, but sometime way down the line. So there's a good chance it won't get back up there. It might well just flop around down here and then break short. But any extensions to the upside would be good, much better short opportunities. But right now, it's too late to get into a short because obviously that's where you wanted to be short. But there's no way you're going to take a short just before they drop the interest rate. It's gambling, but would have worked. We covered the Swiss and the yen. New Zealand, US, again, same as the Fed. We don't know what they're doing. But if the US dollar weakens dramatically on talk of interest rate drop, that's the movement you're going to see. New Zealand dollars just dropped their interest rate, so that's the movement you should see. So we're waiting on the US. I think the best assumption with the US at the moment, from my perspective, is assume that they're not going to drop interest rates. Because every time they've said they're going to, they change their mind 5 minutes later and say they're not going to. Now they're saying all the data's pointing towards we certainly can. Then you get people like Goolsby coming out and saying, actually, you might delay it a little bit longer. So although it is bearish, probably by end of year, when we don't know. And we're not trying to time the market here. We're trying to decide where it's going long term. So for me, that would be a fairly decent play. But I don't want to get into it here. We've missed that move. I want some kind of pullback before I enter. So RSI extensions, ADR hits to the upside, take shorts when you get reversal alerts or whatever signal you're using to go short. US dollar CAD. This one should go either way. I don't care which way I trade this. Haven't had any entries on it yet because we're just sitting around sideways for the last week. But yeah, I'd be interested in either direction. Don't care. This should just continue to go up and down. So, and US dollar Swiss we've covered, in US dollar yen, not a clue. So your RSI extensions at the moment. Got a couple more hourlies gone in now. CAD Swiss is now extended above. Whoops. Above or just about got to the 80 level. That's just reversing out now. Look. CAD Yen again nicely extended, so good chance of a pullback today on that one. But you know, false breakout or not? Don't know. Euro Swiss. There's your reversal going in. 3-bar reversals looking good. That looks like a good short as well. Really nice short forming there. You've still got 46 minutes on this candle, yeah? So a 3-bar reversal is a push, a pause, and a pull, which is a very reliable reversal pattern. But you need to wait for this candle to close, yeah? At the moment, this candle is forming a 3-bar reversal. If it shows that kind of price action, it's not a 3-bar reversal, yeah? So wait for that to close. If it closes bearish, it's good to go. Yeah, and inside that 3-bar reversal on a lower time frame, you'll find a reversal alert and a retest. Yeah, so this is what the reversal alert indicator is showing you when the market is reversing. On an hourly time frame, it can be painted also as a 3-bar reversal. There's all sorts of stuff it can paint as. So US Swiss looks good for shorts. Pound Swiss and the pound yen also looking really good. Again, similar sort of price action going in on that. And that's also extended as well. But yen, I'll be careful of. Pound Swiss is the one I'm interested in shorting, but it's not going to get there, is it? This is the trouble. That is exactly where I'd love to take that short from, but this might well just pop from there. You're never going to get into it. That's the ideal spot, finding the limit orders there. But if it doesn't reach them, you will be turning around and going, I really wish I'd have pressed the button today now. But if you press the button now and then this thing goes another bull candle, you'll be going, I wish I'd have waited. You never know, do you? David, thank you very much for the tip. Very much appreciated. $10. Good day, goat. I'm late. Hopefully it is a good day today. It is a good day. Done 1.2p, 3%. Got some stuff sitting in profit, break even. Good day. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You are late. Yesterday's stream, by the way, it's still rendering. Every now and again, somebody asked me, a couple of people asked me actually in Telegram and Discord, where's yesterday's stream? Every now and again, the stream freezes. When it's going, not the stream live, but when it's rendering, because when you finish a stream, basically, it has the standard definition ready to go, and then it renders into high definition to obviously just put up for the replay. Sometimes, every now and again, doesn't happen often, but the high definition version just doesn't happen. It takes forever. And while it's doing that, it's not available. So it's still rendering this morning. So it said the estimate was two hours, but the estimate was 2 hours yesterday. So I don't know if it'll ever be there. But anyway, I don't know why I said about that, but anyway, I did. Afternoon, everybody else. Why the Dow opening gap such a big gap? Why are the Dow opening gap such a big gap? Don't know. What do you mean opening gap? Oh, you've probably got charts that don't show Globex, I guess. Because you just had news, haven't you? Just had a news event. Afternoon, Chucks. What's your opinion on Euro US dollar? I think I just covered that one, didn't I? But I'm out of Euro US dollar. So I've just got out the short from yesterday, day before yesterday. Yeah, so I just got out the short from yesterday on the news spike into propulsion. So I'm flat. Trade played out from yesterday. Done. A good chance that it will do that, I think, but I really don't know if that US dollar strength is going to continue or not, so I'm out. But if you want to get in short, wait for a retest. You're not going to get a retest on that. So if you want to get in short, wait for the V-shaped recovery if it comes, or you could wait for 50% retracement on the leg, assume that they're going to add more size into the propulsion gap. Somewhere in here. So you could just wait for bearish price action. So, you know, you've had no bearish price action yet. So wait for some bearish price action. You've got an inside bar, indecision. You've got a higher high and a higher low, bull. You've got a higher high and a higher low, maybe a bear candle, but it's still bull. You've got a higher high and a higher low going in, bull. Yeah, so wait till you get either an inside bar and then a break of the low, or bearish engulfing, or shooting star, just something to tell you that bulls are running out of steam, the bears are starting to overpower and add into that position. But it might just completely V-shape recover this, as it often does. Which is why I've got my pound US on break even. So this is where I would expect them to add. And if they don't, it means that that isn't a move. Afternoon, Daniel. But that's the beauty of PT. You can enter small. Yep. If it goes your way, you'll make some money. And if it goes against you, you'll make more money. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, get in whatever you want. Obviously, the whole purpose of it is the position trading methodology is we don't know where it's going. If we knew where it's going, we'd go there. So get into whatever you want to get into. And obviously just plan the trade. So I keep coming back to this pound Swiss. But I mean, look at the price action. So that propulsion move there, they've just hit. You got a lower high, lower low. You got an inside bar, followed by a higher high and a higher low, which is bullish, followed by a lower high and a lower low, which is bearish, followed by a higher low and whatever this candle closes as. So this market at the moment isn't reversing. Stuck. This propulsion gap is potentially being rebought. But you can take a break of that low and get in now. And if that doesn't work, you know where you're going. Monthly high, or rather the monthly low and the 2-month low. So short that. That's a quarter of an ADR. Half an ADR, 3/4 of an ADR. That's last week's level. So this whole zone here, you've got lots of orders sitting there ready to go. How much bull there is, though, I don't know. But if it's wrong and you're getting short now, that's your second entry. If your second entry fails, which would be somewhere in there, that's where your third one goes. That'll be roughly 3/4 of an ADR from that one. I don't know. I'm just super cautious at the moment. I'd much rather just take it from there. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. It's highly likely it's going to signal anyway. If this hourly candle goes bull, your RSI extension is going to trigger anyway. So if you're using the Position Trader EA or the Market Reversal Alerts EA, it's going to get you in anyway. Sure. Although I haven't got the market reverse, the EA running on the Swiss pairs at the moment. If I take a trade on a Swiss, it's going to be me taking it rather than the EA. And I want it to be looking really good like that. So you got 2R on the NASDAQ eventually. S&P, you've had nothing. You've had half an ADR, half an R roughly on the range. And the Dow's obviously done exactly the same as the DAX did this morning, which was, I might have a go long. Actually, no, I'm not going to bother. Then I'll sit around here for the rest of the day and wait for a news event. Unfortunately, we haven't got another news event coming, so where this goes, nobody knows. You got a gap off the news, which they may well come and do. That's not a bad target actually today. It's really close though. That's only 2R. It's less than, yeah, it's just over 2R on the opening range, or the pre-market range in this case. I shall wait and see if it gets there. If it gets there, I might do something with it, but difficult day today. Right, that's all I've got today. There's nothing much else to look at because we are kind of off the back of this news today. Not really going anywhere. Market seems to be retracing this move today. Aussie didn't do an awful lot this morning. Sorry, that's the wrong day. Aussie didn't do a lot this morning on the unemployment rate. The GDP was as forecast. This was all very, very, very bullish, but we just about got an ADR out of one, and that's it. So nothing much else is happening, is it? So it's pretty dead at the moment. Tomorrow morning, you've got Bullock speaking, unlikely to do much or not really going to do anything. So literally the only news tomorrow is retail sales ahead of University of Michigan. So we'll see what happens with those. Just to update you on my economic calendar project I've got going. I've got the whole calendar in there now, all the historical data. I'm just loading it all onto the site at the moment, just to see how I can lay this out and plot it. Because what I want to see is the differentials and what impact the differentials are having over on price, basically. So for today's one, for example, we want to look at the US. When you decide to filter. Huh? Oh, you've got to clear them all. Right, select. Why is that not filtering? Come on, Google. I hate Google. US clear claims. Initial jobless. So there's all your previous initial jobless claims. So the thing that I'm interested in is the difference to estimate. So we obviously get given the previous number, the estimated number, and the actual number, what the change is, and all that sort of stuff. But the interesting part is this. So when you get an estimate and the difference from the estimate to what we actually got, that's the number that actually moves the market. If we are previously looking at 245 and we get a 230 and we are estimating a 238 and we get a 235 or roughly that, market already knows that is what we're expecting. That's what it prices in. So therefore you don't get a lot of movement. If it's dramatically out by 10 plus, now we're talking, you're probably going to get a much stronger move off of it. So it's a case of wanting to plot all of this on a chart so that I can actually see what the impact on price was at news and after news. More importantly, what happened the next day or two after we get an unexpected news event. The problem with it is tomorrow there'll be another US news event. So if you say, for example, the claims came out there at 21 differential on what was estimated, and it went mental to the upside, and then for 2 days after it rallied, that 2-day rally afterwards doesn't necessarily be caused by this. It's caused by the other news events that happened on Friday and Monday. Don't forget, we get unemployment claims coming out the day before non-farm payroll once a month. Yeah, so it's it's difficult to quantify exactly how to use this data, which is why I want to plot it and see it, so I can figure out if there's a way that is actually going to be able to use this. I think the best use for this is when we get a bigger than expected news followed by a bigger than expected news followed by a bigger than expected news. That's what we should really be looking for. So it's more a case of using this data to break down the scorecard, the sentiment scorecard, into much smaller parts. So that's really what I want to use it for. But it's a bit of a logistical job to get the data prepared first of all before we can use it to analyze. So I'm hoping to incorporate it into this in a lot more detail, and that will give us hopefully not better signals, but signals which will be more changeable over a short period of time. Yeah, so we can react quicker. So it's kind of like bringing the whole buyer scorecard down a few time frames, which will be much more useful for intraday trading and shorter time frames. But it's quite a big job. So I am working on it, but it's a case of time for me. There we go. Pound Swiss is still pushing on. So we are now going back bull look, which is why I say it's very important to wait for this candle to close, because that was looking like a lovely 3-bar reversal, wasn't it? 5 minutes ago. Looking like the bulls are in control now. So not really wanting to get in yet. There's a good chance that we might get 2 or 3 extra hours today of bull market, and that will give us a lovely good short opportunity up there. Wait and see. But yeah, pound Swiss, keep your eye on that today. If we get up into this zone, if you've got the support resistance propulsion indicator on there, so the last 2 months highs followed by that weekly level as well, that whole zone, 125 ADR. Okay, anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Discord or Telegram. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:45. We will trade the DAX and the FTSE. Hopefully we'll trade the DAX and the FTSE. If it moves, we'll trade it. If it doesn't, we won't. So I will be tending to trade it, and then we'll have a look at how everything's gone this week, and just do the same thing over and over again. Have a look at where everything is, where it's potentially going, and hopefully get some money. All right, have a good day. Anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good one.